സർവം ബ്രഹ്മമയം സർവം ബ്രഹ്മമയം സർവം ബ്രഹ്മമയം സർവം ബ്രഹ്മമയം
Yeah, good morning and namaskaram to all. The audio is clear? Okay, we'll start. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ददामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महद् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोपला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामपि कर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवै रणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथासम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः. Om. Good morning and namaskaram to all. So we have been discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are now in the 13th chapter. We started with the 27th slokam. One second. So we'll start from 27th only. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogam, 27th slokam. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthandam parameshwaram vinashyat swavinashyantam yah pashyati sapashyati. Vinashyatsu, in the perishable objects. Okay, vinashyatsu means the objects are disappearing. Sarveshu bhuteshu, all the scenes or perceptions, in all the scenes and perceptions, all the things that we see, all the objects of this world which is appearing and disappearing. One second. Samam tishthandam, they exist, they are present, that in them samam tishthandam, that which exists and present equally, avinashyantam, which is imperishable, parameshwaram, the supreme lord, Bhagavan, yaha pashyati saha pashyati, one who sees the truth in all the perishable objects as imperishable, one who sees the chaitanyam in, chaitanya means Bhagavan, in all the perishable objects, all the objects of this world, that means the humans, the animals, plants and the sun, moon, etc. In all of them, one who is able to see the imperishable Atma, one who can see that, who sees that, whoever is seeing that Lord Parameshwaram in all of them, yaha pashyati saha pashyati, he only sees. How? Samam tishthanti. Okay, samam tishthanti. See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhava, he asks Sri Krishna at the end, I want to behold you, I want to see you, I want to be with you at all times. When it was time for the Sri Krishna to drop this body, so before that he was saying that I want to see you at all times. Then Sri Krishna says, you see me at all times in a Brahmin, a born Brahmin, or an unclean Chandala or Shwapaga, who is a dog eater, or in a dog, in a donkey, in the stars, in the splendor of the sun, in the moon, the waves of ocean, and everywhere you see me. Okay, this is what Sri Krishna said. You see me in everyone, in a Brahmin, in a Chandala, one second, or in a moon, or in a donkey, or in a dog, wherever you see me, you can see me. So don't only you see me in Sri Krishna, you see me in everything and in everyone. Okay, same in fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we have a beautiful verse, the same verse in a different way. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shunichaiva Swapakecha Pandidaha Samadarshinaha. You see the Chaitanyam in all of them. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, one who is a learned scholar, and Gavi in a cow, Hastini in an elephant, Shunichaiva in a dog, Swapakeja in one who is a dog eater, Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Panditaha means the one who has Panda, one who is a Brahmajnani, they see the same God, same in all of them, same way, similarly without any difference. The same thing is there. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthandam parameshwaram vinashyat swavinashyandam yah pasyati sapashyati. So, behold, then what he says? Why? Because, hey Uddhava, whatever you are seeing here, whatever you see here, all of them is the manifestation of me only. Everything is a manifestation of the consciousness, right? All the appearances is the manifestation of me only. Bhagavan says to Uddhava, because all of them are me only. I alone exist. I alone is the one who is manifesting as all of this, right? And the moment Uddhava heard this, tears started rolling down, because he understood it, because it is not necessary that he should see Bhagavan in only Sri Krishna. He can see Bhagavan in everywhere, all of this, in all the objects. Same thing here, Bhagavan says, Vinashyat swavinashyandam yah pashyati sapashyati. One who sees this in all of them, all of this, all the animals, plants, etc., that alone he will see the truth in everything. So, whoever sees, he sees the truth. Okay, whoever is seeing this way, he only alone sees the truth. See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, third skandam, 29th chapter, 22nd verse, 3:29-22 in Srimad Bhagavatam, what says? Yomam sarveshu bhuteshu sandamatmanam ishwaram hitvarcham bhajate maudhyat bhasmanyeva juhoti saha. Sarveshu bhuteshu, all the beings here, humans, animals and everything here, all the objects, even in the rocks or the river or the mountains, everywhere and anything, right? Anything. Yomam sarveshu bhuteshu, whoever is seeing me as Sandam Atmanam Ishwaram, as Atma, that Atma as Ishwara, right? Hitva, one who disregards this. Hitva means what Hitva? One who disregards the fact that Ishvara is present in all of them as self, right? As consciousness, as Atma, but Maudhyat, by ignorantly offers worship only to Archam, only to images, okay, only to idols and images. One who does worship images and idols disregarding the fact that I exist, I alone exist in all of this, all of the objects, that is Sarva Bhuteshu Santam Atmanam Ishwaram Yo Mam. This knowledge, this fact is ignored. One who ignores, then that worship is as waste, as you do a homam or ahuti in ashes. One who does a homam or ahuti in ashes, there is no fire, only ashes in that bhasmam, right? Bhasmanyeva juhoti saha, one who is doing a homam or ahuti in a bhasmam where there is no fire, it is as futile, as useless. The same way, one who does worship to images and idols without understanding the fact that Atmanam Ishwaram, one who disregards this, Ishvara is present in all of them, all the animals, humans, plants, etc. One who doesn't see, it is as waste, it is a waste. And Bhagavan continues, Aham uchchavachair dravyaihi kriyayotpannaya naghe naiva tushyarchitorchayam bhutagramavamaninaha. If a man disregards and disrespects, persecutes with a hostile attitude to the fellow beings, okay, if a man disregards and persecutes fellow beings but worship me in only images, okay, with what? Kriyayotpannaya archanaihi dravyaihi, does worship and do a lot of rituals, with numerous rituals and rich offerings, I am not at all pleased. I am not at all pleased with him for proffering such worship. So here in Srimad Bhagavatam, this is same, next verse, 3:29-24. Please read and understand. Bhagavan clearly says there, Bhagavan says, Sri Krishna says, Bhagavan says is that if someone disregards the fellow beings, fellow being means not only humans, all animals also, disregards them and does a lot of puja, archana, abhisheka, etc. by disregarding and disrespecting everyone else, I am not at all happy, I am not at all pleased with him for doing such worship. Okay, then again he says, then is it bad to do that? No, you should do worship, images and idols. There is nothing wrong in it. Archada varchayet tavadishwaram mam swakarma kride yavan naveda swahridi sarvabhuteshvavasthitam. A man should, however, worship me in images. There is nothing wrong. Should worship images side by side with discharging his duties. Do your swadharma while you are performing your swadharma. So the more importance is given to do the swadharma, okay, which includes the love of all beings. Okay, when you are discharging our duties, when we are performing our duties towards our family and other things, we should be loving with everything that is around us. That includes all beings, the Panchabhutas, the Devas, the human beings and animals, the ants, the weather, right? The Vayu, Agni, everything we should have respect and gratitude and love. When we have, along with this, when we are doing our duties, which includes love for others, you should worship me in images also. Okay, images, and that should be done. It should be done side by side. Okay, along with that, that is very important. This is quoted in, this is from Bhagavatam, it is, okay. Then, Atmanascha parasyapi yah karotyantarodaram tasya bhinnadrisho mrityur vidadhe bhayamulbanam. As long as man is self-centered and makes even slight distinction between himself and others, that is aram ud aram antaram, okay, little bit of split between you and the other. If there is a split, Beda Buddhi is there. If there is a Beda Buddhi, then tasya bhin adrisho mrityur vidade bhayamulbanam, that he or she will be subjected to terrible fear of death. Okay, see, we know in Taittiriya Upanishad, this is come from Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad clearly says, Yada hyevaisha etasmin adrishyena nirukte nilayane abhayam pratishtham vindate adhaso bhayam gato bhavati. Yada hyevaisha etasmin udaramantaram kurute adhadasya bhayam bhavati. A little bit you must see Bhagavan in everything. Adrishye, anatme, anirukte, anilayane. Everywhere you see the same Atma without any difference between you and me. You should see samam pashyati. Okay. Then yadahyeva edasmin udaramantaram kurite. Little bit of difference if you see, split is there, then adha tasya bhayam bhavati. There will be fear of death. There will be fear. So the same thing is told in Bhagavatam also, Taittiriya Upanishad also. Okay. And that is explained here clearly by samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtandam parameshwaram. One who sees Bhagavan in all the objects of this world. Objects means human bodies, animal bodies, the plant bodies, in everything. Everything we must see the Kshetrajna. These are the Kshetras. In all the Kshetram we must see the Kshetrajna. Right? Clearly says, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Hey Bharata, hey Arjuna, you see the Kshetrajnan in all the Kshetram here. Second verse only in this chapter. Samam kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. You see that Kshetrajnan, that Bhagavan in everything as Atma, as consciousness. You see that in yourself first, and then you see the same consciousness in everything around you as Bhagavan. This is what the 27th verse. Now we'll move to 28th verse. So what is the result of this such Satya Darshanam? What is the result? 28th verse. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram na hinastyatmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra. Sarvatra. Everywhere and in everything in this universe. Sarvatra. Samam samavasthitam. Equally present. Okay. Not that the presence of Chaitanyam is little more on A and little less on B. Nothing like that. Okay. Not that the presence of Bhagavan is more in human being and less in a dog, or less in an ant, or less in a kida in a ditch water. Samam samavasthitam, equally present everywhere. Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord. Pashyan he who sees Atmana Atmanam nahinasti. Okay, that one does not do Atmahatya. Atmahatya he doesn't do. Tataha param gatim yati. What is Atmahatya? One who kills himself. That is Atmahatya. Right? So what is really Atmahatya? Bheda drishti is Atmahatya. Okay? One who does not see Atma in self and that Atma in others, that is Atmahatya. That is the real Bheda Buddhi. Okay? Bheda Buddhi is Atmahatya. That leads to real death. That alone leads to death. Okay? One who identifies himself or herself as this body is Atmahatya. One who does not recognize Atma in self is Atmahatya. Because once you realizes your true nature, once you understand that which is the observer or which is observing everything else, which is the Sakshi, which is witnessing to all of this, okay, that alone is Atma. That realization, when you know you are the consciousness which is never born, which never dies, which is everywhere, and which is Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktaha, and also Sarvavyapi, one who realizes yourself as that, then where is the chance of any dukkham, or where is the chance of any moham? There is no delusion, right? So such a person only will be fearless. One who loves himself as the most will be able to love anyone else here. One who loves this body will never have any sort of love or affection towards others. One who identifies with the body will be a selfish person. That is Atmahatya. Not realizing Atma is Atmahatya. So all Ajnanis, all the people who does not realize them, they are end up with Atmahatya. Others, Tataha Param Gatim Yati. Therefore, Tataha, because of that, one who does not kill himself, Atmana Atmanam Nahinasti. Atmana here means with the mind, with the intellect, one who does not Nahinasti Atmanam, or in other words, with the mind, one who realizes Atma, one who realizes or identifies himself that Aham Brahmasmi, one who realizes this way, Tataha, because of this understanding, Param Gatim Yati, he reaches the supreme goal. Param Gati means supreme goal. What is the supreme goal? Realization of God leads to no dukkham, no suffering here. There is no other way. Nanyah pantha vidyate anaya. There is no other method. There is no other way. See, already Bhagavan explained this in Vishwarupa Darshanam. Right? Vishwarupa Darshanam. He showed as one body, the whole universe as one body. That is what is shown to Arjuna there. It's very clearly he explained there also. And in Vibhuti Yogam, he explained as all the Vibhutis, Arjuna, is me only. All the manifestations are my own manifestation. Everything that is shining, the sun, the moon, etc., everything is me only. I alone exist in all of them, or I am the one who is shining as all of them. Right? My manifestations. So in Vibhuti Yogam also, clearly Bhagavan explained the same thing here. Again, he says, Samam Pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram nahinastyatmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. So one who understands himself or herself as Atma, see, you don't have to change the whole world. Okay? It is not necessary to change the world. You yourself change. We have to change ourselves only. See, somebody was told that you should not put your foot on the surface of earth. You should keep your foot only on leather. Okay, is it possible to cover the whole earth with leather? It is not possible. So what you do? You do is you put leather slippers. You put a leather slippers and you walk. Wherever you walk, you are keeping your foot on leather only. Is it not? This is told in Yoga Vasishta. So you keep a leather slippers so that wherever you go, you will be stepping on leather only. Similarly, you don't have to change the whole world. We have to change ourselves. We realize ourselves. Okay? We realize our true nature. That is sufficient. That is more than sufficient. Okay? So, that is the meaning. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram nahinastyatmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. One who realizes this way, he reaches the ultimate goal of moksha. Ultimate goal, that is liberation, that is the freedom from all the sufferings of this world, and parama shanti. That will be the ultimate shanti you will get, totally undisturbed. 29th verse. Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvasah yah pashyati tadhatmanam akartaram sapashyati. Prakrityaiva cha karmani क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तदात्मानमकर्तारं स पश्यति. See, one who sees that all the actions are performed by Prakriti alone. See, what is happening in the objects of this world? What is happening around? You look around. We will see that the change that is happening to all the objects is the Prakriti. It is natural. We know that matter is the one which is changing from one form to another. Right? Say, suppose you take an ice, and the ice, when it becomes water, so this is one form of energy, it becomes another, one matter in the form of ice, which becomes water or steam. So how this is happening? It is happening one form of energy into another by putting some energy. You heat it up, you heat, and the ice becomes water. You heat it more, it becomes another, it becomes steam. And the heat is also a form of energy only. Correct? So any matter in any energy in one form will become another by that same Prakriti only, another form of energy only. Okay, I will try to explain in another way. We are eating food, right? The food that we eat, it comes out as energy in some form. When we are working out, when we do workout, this same food is getting burnt, and it takes another form of energy with which we move, say 10 kg of an object from one place to another. We move it, or we walk, we lift something and then keep it on the other side. This is some kriya, some action we do. That energy comes from where? It comes from the food that we eat. Okay, so how this food is getting burnt in the body? By doing this action. And from where this energy is coming to do this action? See, while doing this action, by this any sort of action, exercise, or you put one thing to another, you do some work. Okay, any work that you do, to do that work, from where the energy is coming? From the glycogen in your blood. And how the glycogen in your blood came from? It came from the same food that you ate. So ultimately what I am trying to say is, any change of energy from one form to another, this change is also happening because of another energy only. So this is all the drama is happening in the Prakriti. Okay, all that energy transformation from one potential energy to kinetic energy or heat energy or any form of energy that is we are able to see is happening by the energy only. So one form of energy is converted into another form of energy using the same energy. So this recycling is what is happening all around. Correct? This is exactly it says. Prakriti-vacha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha. This Prakriti is the combination of all the kshetram and the karmas. What are the karmas? What I said is, in a scientific way I explained, the same thing is Srishti, Sthiti, Layam. Okay? What we call creation and what we call as sustenance for some time, and what we call it as disappearance or dissolution or samharam, srishti, sthiti, layam. Okay, these three things are happening in the Prakriti at all times. Every point the same thing is happening. Every point in this universe is changing continuously. The energy in one form is changing to another. This appearance of something we call it as srishti, and the disappearance of something we call it as layam. Okay, actually speaking, nothing is getting lost. Only it is changing. Just recycling is happening here. This recycling business, repeated at all times. This recycling is continuous. At all times this is happening. And this is the Prakriti. In this Prakriti, by this change that is happening here, there is a presence of Chaitanyam, consciousness. Okay, so the consciousness, its presence is required, its support is required for all the changes that is happening here. Otherwise, this change will not happen. Okay, so the presence of Atma or consciousness, by its mere presence, but it is not getting involved in it. It gives support. It supports. How the example is, say we have got a screen. The screen gives the support for the movie to play. Similarly, see, the screen is not involved in the movie. In the movie, that is the movement of the Prakriti. Okay, the movement which is changing from one form to another, which is constantly happening. We call it Srishti, etc. The creation or dissolution, etc. This movie that is happening here, the appearance and disappearance, where it is happening, this appearance and disappearance? In the consciousness. In your consciousness, in my consciousness, which is the same consciousness, in that consciousness, the movie is going on. Okay, and which is being observed using a tool of mind and body and sense organs. Okay, each one has got their own movies, which is happening in the screen. So the screen is not involved in the movie, without getting involved, but without its presence, movie cannot happen. Similarly, without the presence of consciousness, the movie cannot happen. So the presence of consciousness is what we call as the presence of Atma or Chaitanyam or Bhagavan. Okay, Pragrityeva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvasaha. So karmani, all karmas, that is the creation, the sustenance and the dissolution or destruction, srishti sthiti layam, that is happening, sarvasaha, in all respect that is happening. Prakritya eva kriyamanani, nature repeatedly functions. It is the functions of the nature in the presence of Atma. Tadha, but know that Atmanam akartaram cha. Similarly, I the self, the Purusha, the consciousness, I am the consciousness, I am the Purusha. In me this movie is going on, this Prakriti is moving. Okay, all the karma that is happening in me, I am the consciousness, I am not the doer. I am not involved in it, but I give existence to all those happening. I give support to it, like a screen for a movie. Right? So, in my presence, without getting involved in the actions, I am not the doer. So, tadha atmanam akartaram cha, I am not the doer. Yaha pashyati. One who understands this way, one who sees this way, saha pashyati. He only knows the truth. So, I have to know myself as akarta, akarma. I am the consciousness only. I am not the doer. Whatever is happening is the Prakriti. This Prakriti's movement is as per, there is a perfect order. There is a perfect order. Law of karma, as per the law of karma, this Prakriti, let it be gravitation or the blooming of a flower or a birth of a boy or a girl or anything that is happening in this Prakriti, whatever is that is happening, or a death. Okay, all that is happening in the Prakriti, I am not the doer, but in my presence only everything is happening. And I am the controller of all this. The consciousness He is the controller of all this. Controller in the sense, in my presence, they happen in a particular order. Okay, so so that is the Prakriti. The Prakriti's movements, I am not involved. Okay, I am not the Karta at all. Kartrutvam is not there. I am not doing anything. I am the consciousness. I am the witness consciousness. In me, things are happening. Okay, and what is this Prakriti? What is this Prakriti made of? It is made of all the Panchabhutas. Okay, all the Panchabhutas, and we already discussed this Panchikaranam, etc. Right? The Indriyas, what we call is that Indriyas and mind, etc. is all the product of this Panchabhutas only. The sattvic qualities of the 5 big elements are the sense organs, and when it becomes grossification, all the bodies are formed, which is changing, etc. All this we discussed earlier. Okay, so that is the Prakriti. So the changing Prakriti, the unchanging me, we have to understand. And one who sees this, he alone is the seer. He is the seer. He only sees the truth. I hope it is clear, right? And aham asangoham. I am not attached. I am asangaha. Asangoham 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 punah punah Sachidananda Rupoham Ahamevaham Abhyayaha. Asangoham. I am not attached with any of this that is happening in the Prakriti. I am the Akarta. Okay? I am the Akarta. I am the Agarma. I am the consciousness. I am not this body, which is the Prakriti. I am not the Kshetra. I am the Kshetraknya. Kshetra means Prakriti. Kshetram, Prakriti. Okay? All the same. These are all the same only. There is no difference between Kshetram and Prakriti. It is all same. Purusha means Kshetraknya, consciousness. We'll go to the 30th verse. Yada bhuta pratag bhavam ekastham anupashyati tata evacha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. Yada bhuta pratag bhavam ekastham anupashyati tata evacha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. Bhuta pratag bhavam. See, this verse gives the Brahma Anubhava Kramam. It gives how Brahma Anubhavam is experienced. Bhuta Pratag Bhava means in the objects of this world, which is known, understood as separate. Okay, see, when you look outside, what we are seeing is Pratag, different. Bhuta Pratag, all are made of 5 big elements only. Everything is made of Panchabhutam. Panchabhuta Nirmitam it is. Every object, anything you take, this body or the plant's body is also made of 5 big elements only. This also is made of 5 big elements only. Everything is Annamayam only. It's all made of 5 big elements. Okay, but they are different. The humans look different, I look different, you look different. Even the animals also, there are so many species. Right? Everything is looking different. Everything appears differently. That is Bhuta Pratag Bhavam. Then, what is it that is appearing as all this? What is appearing as this all 5 big elements? We know Upanishad says clearly, Tasmadva etasmad atmana akashas sambhutaha akashad vayuhu vayoragnihi agnerapah adbhyah prithivi. Right? So, the Prithvi, then water, fire, air and Akasha. From Akasha, air, from air to fire, fire becomes water, water becomes earth. So ultimately what Shruti is trying to tell us, and it is very clear. Suppose you see a solid rock, the earth, it is nothing but space solidified. Okay? It is the space that is solidified into earth. So we have to understand that, see, it is very clear. See, you look at this air around you. Okay, there is dust in it. Is it not? In this air there is dust. You collect all the dust. There is dust for sure. You collect all the dust, it will be like a one rice grain. All the dust collected, it will be like a rice grain. But you tell me, can you see the dust here? You cannot. Similarly, in this vast space, the sun, the moon, the planets and all the celestials of these galaxies are like a dust in this air. It is just like a dust. Okay, so all of this, that is the gross thing, it's only, I think, 1 in lakh or something of the whole space. When you collect all this, like a dust, when you collect, it is like this form of a one small grain of a sand. Similarly, if you collect all the gross objects of this universe, it will be 0.00001% of the whole space. So what it means is that everything that is solid, that is, I am taking the earth here, okay, it is the space, from space only it has come, so it is space. When everything around here is just space, and this space is sarvagatam, the space is all pervading, which is the subtlemost thing, which is the subtlest of all the 5 big elements, which is the space is what is water, the space is what is earth, the space is air, the space is fire, everything is space only. When that space is all pervading, the consciousness is subtler than this. The consciousness is subtler than this, and that must be all pervading. Okay, even when the space is all pervading, the consciousness is even subtler than this, and that is all pervading. Also, where is the space appearing? Where is the space appearing? The space is appearing in consciousness. The vast space is appearing in consciousness. First, we realize this in ourselves. We realize the space in ourselves, in my consciousness. The space is appearing in me, and I am the consciousness. This is Atmanubhavam. Okay? When I realize this way, either you take it as space or you take it as energy, doesn't matter. It is an appearance in me, and I am the consciousness. When I realize this in me, then it starts expanding. Then I start seeing that it is the same consciousness in every objects of this world. This is the expansion. Here what Bhagavan says, Yada bhuta pratadbhavam ekastham anupashyati. Brahma eva, Brahman, this truth, this consciousness, that which is understood or what is seen as prathak, bhuta pratadbhavam. Okay, this consciousness which is appearing as many, yada ekastham anupashyati, when one realizes the same in the cave of the heart, own heart. When one realizes that it is the consciousness which is appearing as whatever you see, bhuta pratak bhava, bhuta pratak, as all the objects of this world, when I realize in myself, yada ekastham anupashyati. Okay, when one realizes the same in the cave of the heart of self, own, as consciousness, tataha eva, from that cave of heart itself, tada vistaram sampadyade, that expands and fill up and pervade the whole universe. What does that mean? I see that the same consciousness is there in all the objects of this world. Right? I realize that if there is no consciousness, there is no world. The appearance of this world depends on the consciousness. If there is no consciousness, no such a thing happens. Okay, it is just a thought. It is only for our argument's sake. There is no such condition that where there is no consciousness. But I understand that if there is no consciousness, this jadam vastu cannot appear. So it is the consciousness which is the cause of the appearance of all the objects of this world. How a mirage appears on a desert. If there is no desert, there is no water appearance. If there is no gold, no ornaments can appear. It is the gold alone which appears as the ornaments. Right? Here we have to take the logic of Akasha first, which is very clear, which is obvious. It is the space that has become the earth or the river. Right? It is the same it is the same space that is the sun. The sun that you see is actually space. It is a solidified or gasified space it is. When we see the space as all pervading, which is the subtlest which can be observed with one of our sense organs, which is very clear, which is there in our observation, where is this space appearing? Think in my consciousness. So this consciousness I understand in me first. That is what yada ekastham anupashyati. One who realizes the consciousness in the cave of own heart in me, tataha eva, from there itself, tataha, from that cave of heart itself, tada vistaram sampadyate. Means it starts expanding. I start seeing the same consciousness in my wife, in my husband, in my children, in my parents, right? And in the air around me, and the people I come across, and the sun, the moon, and the animals, and the trees and plants. Everywhere I see the same consciousness. This is the vistaram. This is the vistaram. Tataha eva tada vistaram sampadyade. When you see the same consciousness which is appearing as all, and all of that appearances is the same consciousness, that is Brahmanubhavam. Okay, so from Atmanubhavam to Brahmanubhavam, this kramam, this order is clearly explained in this verse. One more time we will read. Yada bhuta pritagbhavam ekastham anupashyati tata evacha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. From 31st onwards we will continue in our next class. So next class will be 31, 32, 33, 34. I think we will conclude, we are concluding this chapter, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogam, in our next session. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Harihi Om Tat Sat. Brahmarpanamastu.
Thank you, sir.